Alright, so the canvas is dry now, and now we want to make our cuts around the outer edge. So first things we want to do is pull out any pins we might have put in. Keep the canvas from moving. Okay, now we need our box cutter. Make sure you got a nice sharp blade in it. We need a 1 by 1.5 inch piece of flashing and a 1 by 2 inch piece of flashing. The 1 by 1.5 inch flashing we're going to use as a cut guide for along the bottom where this meets the floor, and we have the inner frame rails. So we're going to cut the canvas back behind the frame rails, and then the 1 by 2 inch we're going to use on each end, because that's where our end walls are going to come in. We don't want canvas in between the end walls if we can avoid it. So we're going to go ahead and start cutting this. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut right from the corner back on each side. This would be on the top section. Alright, then I'm going to go ahead and cut off some excess here. I'm going to just basically cut like right along here, right down the middle, and that'll give me a little room so I can get a piece of flashing up behind here so that we can make a straight cut along the top of the roof line. About right in the middle. Don't worry about your depth of your cut. Then I need to cut right along the edge here, and that takes care of that piece. Okay, so I've cut off the excess, and now I'm going to use this piece of flashing, and I'm going to slide it right up under here. You don't want to push hard, otherwise you might delaminate your canvas, but just kind of hold it up there. Then you can use your knife and use it as a guide and just cut as you go. Alright, so just slide the flashing up in here. Well, let's pull that back a hair. Okay, make sure you're kind of pushed up in there, but not too hard. You don't want to delaminate your canvas. And then you just put your box cutter blade right up against the sheet metal there, and just start cutting. And there you go. This top cut came out pretty nice and straight. If it didn't come out straight, just now is the time to go ahead and straighten it out if you can. Okay, so we've cut the top. Now we just need our end cut and our bottom cut. And I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess canvas so that we can get the flashing up tight against the foam. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and flip to the 1 inch side of the flashing, and I'm just going to go ahead and, doesn't have to be a very good cut, just use it as a guide to kind of get this excess canvas out of the way. Plus, it's a good time to practice your cuts. And remember to make sure you're cutting the right side, because one side is the roof and one side is the floor. So make sure before you make your cuts that you're cutting the right right locations. Okay, so I made my cut, and now I'm going to peel off the canvas. And I like to peel the canvas back on itself and not up or up like this. Just kind of peel it back on itself. That way you're not pulling up on the canvas. And loosening the bond on the wall. Okay, we got the excess canvas off. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my 1x2 and I'm going to put it on the end. This is the end that we got a 2-inch piece of foam. The end wall is going to come on here, so basically we're just trimming back the canvas so that the foam will actually glue onto the foam. So just make sure you keep this up tight against the foam as you make your cut so that you get a nice clean cut. Go ahead and just take your time. I kind of tilt the blade just kind of slightly towards the flashing, that way it kind of hugs it. Right, again, we want to hold down the canvas, get to the cut line, peel it back, and pull kind of straight back. Alright, so now you see that we now have a place for the glue, for the end walls to glue directly to the foam. I'll just take this to the other side and do that side as well. Again, make sure you got the 2-inch side and put the 1-inch side up against the edge. Make sure it's up against the edge and just begin your cut. Hold down the canvas on the other side of the cut, pull up your cut, and then just peel it back upon itself. Alright. Now all we got left is the floor. So I'm taking my 1 by 1.5 inch. Putting it up against the edge, and go ahead and start the cut. Hold down the canvas on the opposite side, pull off the canvas. Alright. So now, we're ready for the roof. Okay, so we went ahead and cut along the roof line, which is right flush to the edge. We've made our 2-inch cut for the end wall. We made our 1.5 inch cut to clear inner frame rail, and we made our 2-inch cut for the other end wall. Alright, there you go. Alright, for this step I'm going to need my box cutter and our 1-inch by 2-inch flashing for a guide. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and remove my stick pins, tacks, whatever we're using to hold these end of the canvas here in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my 1 by 2-inch flashing. I'm going to use the 1-inch side first. And this is just basically so we can get rid of the excess canvas that's draped over the side so that we get a nice clean flush cut when we do our 2-inch cut. So here we go. We're going to just take the 1-inch side, make our cut. This cut doesn't need to be perfect by any means. Alright, so we've made our 1-inch cut all the way around to get rid of this excess canvas draping over the side. So take your finger, just kind of hold down on the canvas that we don't want to lift, and then start breaking it away. Alright, so we don't want to lift up on the canvas, so we want to go ahead and cut this. We got 2 pieces. Alright, so now we want to pull like this. Again, hold down on that corner piece so that it doesn't lift, and then just pull it along. Alright, so now we're ready to make our final cut on the ceiling or roof. So we're going to need our 2-inch by 1-inch piece of flashing, and we're going to cut the canvas back from the edge 2 inches on all 4 corners, because this is a ceiling and it's going to rest on your 2-inch walls. So we're going to clear the canvas out from that area so you get a good glue up between the foam. So go ahead and take your box cutter, your 2-inch flashing, put it right up against the edge, and start your cuts. Just take your time, make a nice clean cut. When you're done, just peel up on that corner, hold down on the piece that you want to leave on the foam, start your break, and then just pull it off. Same thing on the ends. Again, push down on the piece you want to leave on the foam. Pull the other one off. Push the flashing up flush against the edge, make your cut. Push down on the piece that you want to leave on there, peel that back like so, and then pull it back. Alright. Make sure you come up flush against the edge there. Take the box cutter, make the cut. Hold the canvas down that you want to leave on the foam, grab the edge, peel it back. Okay, so we've cut the canvas back 2 inches so that when we put the ceiling roof onto our walls, you will see that we'll have a nice glue up between the canvas. Alright, so we're ready to cut out the excess canvas on our end pieces. So we're going to need a 2x1 piece of flashing and our box cutter again. We're going to start by using the 1-inch side first. We're just going to trim back this excess canvas we got here. Alright, so once we get the excess canvas cut off, cut these corners off here real quick. So just start right at the corner and cut down so that you have a nice 2 flaps. Corner here, just make a cut down so that you have 2 flaps now. Box cutter, cut down so that you have 2 flaps. And last one. So you have 2 flaps, just like so. Alright. Alright, now take your flashing, just kind of slide it up underneath the canvas, like so. And then take your box cutter and just kind of slide it right along that flashing. Basically, we're going to do this to each side. Just kind of slide this up underneath your canvas. And you don't want to push down on the wall because this might set a little higher, and if you push down on the wall, you'll lift the canvas along the edge. So you just, if you're going to push down, just push down right on that edge, and then take the canvas, kind of pull it, and start your cut. As you're pulling on the canvas, kind of push back on the flashing at the same time. Alright, put the canvas up underneath. Pull down, make your cut. Alright, so as you cut, just make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. Now you're just pulling down and kind of angle the blade towards the wall so that it kind of sucks the wall over as you're cutting. Alright, so we've cut back the canvas on our end walls, and now we need to cut the canvas back from the edge for the inner frame rail on the floor. So we're only going to cut one side of the end walls, just one side. And you need to make sure the side that you cut is going to be the short side. Not the long side, but the short side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at how I cut my end pieces, and I'm going to choose the side to cut. So this one here I'm going to choose because I did this little mess up here, so I'm going to choose this side to cut on this one, and then I don't think it's really going to matter on this one. It's pretty clean cut all the way around. I got a little canvas lifting on this side, so I think I'll go ahead and, since I got this canvas lifting here, rather than repair that, I'm just going to trim this one back on this side. So here we go. Just push this up flush against the edge here. Take the cutter, use it as a straight edge, start your cut. Go ahead and just cut right into the foam. Just take your time. Make sure your blade is nice and tight. Make sure your straight edge is nice and tight against the edge. Make your cut. Alright, then hold down the canvas on the, that's going to stay on the wall. Pull up on the part you just cut. Just go ahead and pull straight back. That way you're not lifting up on it. There you go.